This man, to me, is very important part of our community and hip-hop culture. As you know, we're hearing a lot of discourse, and along the way, as the culture evolves, you know, there's a lot of things that should remain solid in what they stand for, some of the fundamentals that a lot of us argue for, that people try to dismiss, is what he personifies. So that's what makes him so important, not just as a producer, but also an MC and an all-around creative. All the people he contributed to their success, whether it's Mobb Deep, Nas, Kendrick Lamar, Prodigy, Dilated Peoples, all of these different people, I could keep naming names that he's contributed to. He deserves to be honored. And anytime I'm available or we got space, we're always going to make sure that he has space when he's available. This is a brother of Sway and King Tech in our legacy and DJ Revolution. We all are cut from the similar cloth, so we have to stand next to each other, support each other. But he doesn't need it, man. The world knows how great he is. Yes. I want to welcome him back to the show. Give it up for the one and only, the Alchemist is here.
Alchemist!
Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
Alchemist!
That's amazing, man. Appreciate it, Sway.
I got to tell you, because I know, the thing is, when y'all look at me and King Tech was a little older, right? Have been established and y'all were coming up, so I feel like I'm like a big brother to you.
Always.
You know, and so as your big brother, I want to make sure I let people know what we thought were great, even back before people knew who you were.
Yeah.
To what makes you great today.
You saw me as a kid, so I hope that in this whole path I didn't let you down. You know what I mean? Because like all the greats, that's what I always like aspired to do. Like all the ones I look up to, I was like, I don't want to let them down. Like I want to carry the tradition and like, you know, do what's in my heart. But that was always a thing. So for you to say that, that's better than any award or anything like that, to get the validation of your OGs.
I think you have validation from your peers as well, because you know my husband, you know Horse, y'all spend time together as well, but he feels the same way about you every day. He's like, who's on the show today? And I'll tell him, and he's like, yo, tell Al what up. That's my guy. And so he doesn't say that for everybody. But you know what I mean? And that's
hardly anybody.
Yeah, well, but no, it's kind of like a gauge, because that means that when Horse says that, that's beyond business.
Yeah.
That's like, yo, send my genuine love. Let Al know I said what up.
That's a true friend, too. Like, I spent time with Horse. That's my guy. Like, tell him I said what's up.
Same thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Alchemist is in the building, but he didn't come alone. He didn't come as Alchemist today. He came as Gang Green today. And the other member of that crew goes way back, man. He goes way back. Yeah. I known this young man coming out of Oxnard. Met him through Cornbread of Cornbread.
Really?
OG Cornbread.
The same
That's
Cornbread?
my bro. That's my bro. That's
Saw him
my
last
bro.
night. Yeah.
That's my bro.
And he's the younger brother of Madlib.
That's my other bro.
That's his other brother. And we just had Madlib on here.
Wow.
Big bro.
Now remember how we had his big brother on, and we were talking about when they first started, and we used to have them on the Wake Up Show, and they used to be nervous as hell.
Yep.
And J Deuce.
Yep. Big shouts to J Deuce.
J Deuce was a member of Cali Wild, and I know they used to get so nervous they would try to do things to calm their nerves. And I used to yell at J Deuce and Cornbread about, man, don't be smoking when you come up here.
Yeah. Yep.
Remember those days?
Yeah, I remember.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Luke Pack.
Yeah.
One of those early groups out of Oxnard to Cali Wild.
Yeah.
Stone's Throw. You did a bunch of projects with Stone's Throw.
Yeah.
Not only is he an amazing MC, but he's an amazing producer as well. So I know you've done De La Soul, right?
Yeah.
You've produced for it. You've been doing Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Right? Yes. What's the other thing? Blaze, what is it?
Blaze Blue.
Blaze Blue. He's been producer for video games. Yeah. I mean, these dudes making money, man. Give it up for the one and only Odo, man.
Walking in your purpose.
Yeah.
Walking in your purpose.
Walking in his purpose.
Yeah.
Produced for Murs.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Street Fighter 2.
Street Fighter 2?
I'm clowning.
Did you do that?
Yeah, I did some stuff.
Okay, cool. Oh, no, man, it's here, man. How many, your whole family is musically, right, ordained?
The whole, everybody.
Who else? Your uncle was a jazz musician?
Yeah, John Faddis. Yeah, my pops, Otis Jackson. My mom's a singer. My grandparents, they played guitar and all kinds of stuff. So it was like singing dancing, rapping, everything. You know? Yeah.
And so that was
it was like a Motown type of home. Like, so we had to do all that kind of stuff, like everything.
In Oxnard?
Yeah.
So Oxnard is a place I don't even know how to describe where it's at in geographical terms.
It's like an hour north of L.A. and it's a boxing town.
It's a boxing town.
Yeah.
Boxers.
Good description.
Yeah.
A lot of boxers come from Oxnard?
Yeah, like Fernando Vargas and Victor Ortiz and.
Oh wow, okay.
It's a tough city.
There's a bunch of people out there. Yeah.
Hey, so growing up, did y'all used to have to perform at the holiday parties and stuff?
Yeah. Man, yeah.
Stand up and do something for the family.
Yeah. Definitely had to do that, and at every event. Every event. If they had work events, we was over there dancing at them events, dancing, rapping, doing.
Can you tell me about that Toyota commercial? There was like a loot pack.
Yo, the
Toyota.
Loot pack, they did.
You got to look this up later when you have time on YouTube.
Okay.
They definitely did a Toyota commercial.
For like a local car dealership in Oxnard.
My pops was like a super.
It's legendary.
Super hustle. Like you got to do everything. You got to do everything. So he was definitely pushing us on everything, like everything. So,
wow, yeah. Luke Pack, Mad Lib. Who was in Luke Pack? Everybody in Luke Pack.
Wild Child, DJ Rome's, and Mad Lib.
And that was the three, right?
Yeah.
And who was all in Cali Wild?
That was Cornbread, J Deuce, me, and my man Sean Biggs.
Sean Biggs.
Wow.
AKA Sana.
Yeah.
Sana.
Shout out to MED and Rock C too.
Yeah. Rock C was
now Rock C. That's Team Get 'em right there.
Come on.
Big shouts to Rock C. Rock C working on an album right now. He got a couple albums with my man Can Kick too. So
Rock C was incredible. I know y'all might not. Maybe you know these names if you're really in the know. Incredible MCs, man. That dude,
still amazing.
These are dudes who kind of helped made the Wake Up Show kind of criteria.
They were some of the main characters.
Yeah.
Okay, it was Barbershop used to come
Barbershop
through.
MCs.
Loop Pack. It was
Feel the Agony.
And as kids, we used to sit up and wait for those moments. Like shit was so exciting growing up in LA. Getting able to hear you guys' show and the intensity of whoever was on the show always had. I mean, you basically do the same thing still right here.
Yeah, right.
It's really, you really continue the same tradition. It's crazy. But it was that same intensity of whoever was coming up. It was always pressure, and they would always bring it because it was you knew
Sway
people.
King Tech, everybody listening.
Everyone listening.
Well, it's funny, and I always tell, Alchemist get and Heather knows that what the real code is for this show is really a different iteration of the Wake Up Show, right?
True.
Okay, but it's expanded in the sense that I'll do stuff here that I wouldn't have never done on the Wake Up Show. And Cornbread was talking to me last night, and he said he really loved the feeling when he came to the show in L.A. Because now the feeling is a really positive, loving family. We want people to feel better when they walk out than they did when they walked in. The Wake Up Show.
Was the original Valley of the Hyenas.
It was exciting, but it was scary.
It was scary.
Playoffs. It was like the playoffs.
Yeah.
It was you had to perform.
That's a great.
You can't mess around. You show up. It was
So how come when Al said it, you understand? I've been trying to tell him this, Al, for a minute. You let people come up here and play. This is the Ivy League, and they you got to perform at a different level.
And it's important, and we still have that, in this culture, to have this outlet where if you come up here and you do your thing. Like the last time, it was off the cuff when I did the rhyme with Larry.
Yeah.
Right.
And I got so much response from it. Because it was just me feeling the old energy of that pressure of all right, I know this rhyme? I don't want to mess it up, you know what I mean? But it was it was so fun that it was it reminded me of those old times.
Do you think it's good that artists still have that nervous energy when they do sit down in conversations, or when they do still walk up on stage? As a producer, do you? I nag Preem all the time about that. Shout out to Primo, shout out to Nas.
Yes.
They
got the new song.
Drop. Yeah,
wow.
their new drop. And much love to them for that. But do you still have a nervous energy as an artist yourself, producer, when you get into the studio with somebody who you've been dying to work with or wanting to put something together?
Sometimes, but you always work through it, as far as producing, because you want it to get to a comfort zone where you're able to communicate with them and not Like, it was one artist I worked with recently, I don't want to say because I don't want to mess up a big artist, and I was a little nervous. It reminded me when I was young. I did a session at D&D with Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah.
What?
And I remember it was like, rest in peace, Mr. C. He helped connect it. This was like early 2000s when I was just coming up, and I remember I did the session, and then it wasn't exactly, I was so afraid to say it was Big Daddy Kane. You know?
Right.
So I was kind of church mouse in the studio for the session. The song came out okay. And the next day I saw Premiere. He said, how did that thing go with Big Daddy Kane? I said, it was good, but I felt like he could have done something different. And he said, did you say something? I said, nah. And he got mad at me.
Wow.
Like he scolded me and was like, yo, Al, you got to stop that bullshit. Like, if they're in the studio with you,
they want you.
You got to be able to speak up. And then we went back and fixed it, and it came out great.
Wow.
Yeah, and I learned a good lesson on that. But really, when I really get nervous now, it's funny, is if I have to record a verse. Like, if I have to do a rap, I'm like 6 a.m. in the studio by myself pacing as if like there's a crowd outside.
Right.
Because I feel like recording is like, it's kind of spiritual, because you're going to catch this
100%.
you're going to catch this one take that's going to live forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got to like, I get nervous. There'll be nobody in the studio and I'm over there like
We always, I ask artists that a lot because I think it's a process that some artists don't want to talk about, but you write or you don't, however people do it, they write, then you have to record it, then you have to perform it. And it is truly separate stages of all of it. And I don't think people realize sometimes the best moment captured was when you actually went into that booth.
I think so.
And some people never get the opportunity to do that take ever again.
Yeah.
Especially not in live shows. That doesn't happen again. So enjoy the process and respect it and cherish it, because you don't always get that second take. That moment in the booth is gone.
The first takes are usually the ones. Like, and you know,
I agree.
Even when you write on a paper, it's like a temporary pit stop for your thoughts. It's not, those words are not meant to be on that paper.
Yeah.
Like, they should be there long enough until you could get to the booth to deliver them. It's like a pit stop for your thoughts. Like, the ones who write in their heads, they're just eliminating the paper, but they're just scripting in their brain. Like, Jay kind of started it. Or maybe it was Big. But you know, I was working with 2 Chainz recently, and he was doing the same thing. Benny does the same thing.
Benny the Butcher?
They just
but Benny's lyrics, he does that off the top?
No pen, man. Because your brain is a muscle. Like, if you start working it out, you'd be surprised.
You get stronger and stronger.
Learn 4, remember 8.
Yeah.
You know how to. So, yeah.
Mike Muse, go ahead. You want some real
like
esoteric, interesting conversation here.
I'm here for this part right here.
Yeah.
I find this fascinating now. So with that being said, I'm curious then, and Heather B, chime into as well as an artist. As a producer, when you're watching it, do you see a difference in the output of the artist, of those who write versus those who go off the dome?
I think it's a different style, but there's some freedom about when you don't write. Like, if you have to get a thought, you have a thought on your mind, you spend some time, I think that's a good thing. But there's something to be said about the artists who go in the booth and they kind of like piece the rhyme together on the spot. Because you can turn left and right in a way that you wouldn't when you write. I feel like sometimes when you write, you get caught in a format, a flow, and you're like, all right, and you're sticking to it. Sometimes when you're just in the booth, it's like you're listening to it more. You're like, oh, I need to turn left here. And I notice when artists don't write, you get a really cool, different product. And it's I don't know which is better, but I do love when someone writes. Like, if you take your time and you're like, let me take this beat home and perfect it.
And work with it.
Yeah.
Oh, No's here too, man. You know, family, very talented family you guys have, especially when it comes to producing. And I'm just curious to your process, you know, as we talking about how Al, you know, spits his bars and writes. What about you producing video games? You know, that's
Crazy.
different from producing Murs or De La or the people you produced. Talk about that approach. Like, what did you learn about, oh, I got to maybe change the frequency on these low ends? Or what did you have to learn about sonically and how to produce for video games?
For video games, I feel like it's basically you're scoring a feeling of a time that they're in, like some kind of whatever life it is, or whatever kind of, if it's some gangster stuff on some GTA, or if it's some like a fighting game or whatever. It could be a DJ game, whatever. But I feel like it's basically just scoring like life music, like so you could just go out in the street and like hear stuff, and then it's literally the same thing. And you take those, you take the lows and the highs, and it's literally the same thing. It's just art imitating life.
Art imitating life.
Yeah.
How does the payout? Now, I'm not asking you how much you made, but how does the payout differ from the payout from songs regularly?
I think video games is where it's at.
Okay.
Personally, I think it's a different medium. It's a bigger medium. Like I grew up on games.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that I know grew up on the games as well, and those games have franchises that just kept going. They keep going. They're going for 40, 50 years. Like so it's same like the 50 years of hip hop. There's 50 years of games.
That's a great point.
And it's it's out there.
That's dope, right? He just said that.
You got to see what he has at his house.
What do you mean? Like equipment?
It's like a museum of every. He is like well known in the video game world. Like not only is he scoring the music, he designs games. He has every console ever. He's like
I make
games.
games.
He's a video game.
I make games,
guy.
make arcades, make controllers.
What?
He's nuts. He's
Whatever,
like a good
just
at
like
everything
programming.
guy.
You
whatever.
make games, dog?
Yes.
What's some of the games you make?
Nothing that's out. I just like beats. It's just like beats. So I'll make a bunch of games and I'll just play them until I'm done.
Nah, I don't think you all
literally
realize.
not. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. Although I do stuff for like different companies like Red Bull and stuff like that. But it's literally like
He has a virtual reality setup in his crib where you sit on it and you play the game or you watch something and the smells come out.
Yeah.
Like if you watching something,
I
it's like
multi-sensory.
it's like an amusement park.
I
He's
did
on some other shit.
I did some synth.
I promise you.
Yeah, I did some synth
He's
stuff
being modest.
like 15 years ago where you could like play a game and like synths would shoot out during certain things. Like if you pass a tree in the driving game, you'll smell the tree or the engine and all that stuff. And like I started doing like roller coaster stuff and making seats move. And I got
at your house?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where you? What's?
I got
where you live. I'm coming over
Sway
there.
like what street you op?
Yeah, I got about
Video game.
I got like 8-9 different simulators, like simulator seats that do different things. Like I do all the flying stuff, the driving stuff.
Or do you plan to put it to market, or you just do it because?
I just do it out of love.
Are you a dad?
Yeah.
I feel like you're probably the best pops of the year of all
yeah,
creations.
yeah. Of course. Like we all be battling in all the crazy racing games. It's
I had
it's
never
wild.
thought about the 50 years in the growth of video games. I'm from that era where it was like Miss Pac-Man, Atari,
Coleco.
52, ColecoVision,
And
television.
Yeah.
All of those we used to blow in the cartridge, to make it work. And
They don't know about that.
and then to see it. You're right. I watch my nephews play, and it's just a movie now compared to the digital things that we had back then. It's so different now. And to listen to someone, I never thought about the evolution of it.
And the commerce, like the money that is generated. Like that's why also I think it was such a big deal. Of course for me, but for my brother when we connected with Rockstar Games.
Yes.
Yeah.
We did we scored Grand Theft Auto 5 together.
Yeah.
Oh my
We
God.
did, and I feel like for him it was like they found their golden goose.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Since then I encouraged it. Like he stays doing stuff with them, different things.
Here's
for
the
games.
other side of that.
Yeah.
We just had Gabrielle Dennis here, an actress, and she talked about the audition process.
Yeah.
You guys don't know how many auditions I've been on for Grand Theft Auto.
Really?
I'm gonna pull a curtain back. Like they bring in SAG union actors and actresses to audition. I see a lot
To do
of
the voices.
to audition,
To
not
audition.
to do them, to audition for them because it's a full production. This is not like get somebody. Nah, it's
huge.
Yeah, it's a huge production. Real talk. It's crazy that you brought that up, but it's a real thing with budgets.
Yeah, with
With
budgets.
budget.
I'm sorry.
So like I've played Grand Theft Auto before, right?
Okay.
So like when you get in a car and there's the different radio stations, you guys scored the music that plays on these radio stations or the music that's in the actual like game in the background?
We did the radio station and the music in the background.
Yeah, we had our own. There's a lot of
theme and the theme.
Yeah, like when the game starts, when you start the game, that first song that comes on. Oh no, did that? Yeah. That's like his. It's like an iconic record. What's it called? Welcome to Los Santos.
Yeah, Welcome to Los Santos.
You did that?
Oh no, produced that.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
Hey, dude, who was the first person to ever put you on radio?
Oh, you come on now.
Okay, I just want to remind you that.
The next radio station gonna be.
Okay, go ahead, Al. I'm sorry.
Let the record reflect.
Yeah, okay.
Straight up.
You know the Wake Up Show gonna be on Grand Theft Auto. Damn it.
Yeah.
What we waiting on?
But when my auditions pay off.
Yo, Mike Hughes, go for it.
Yo, you're a genius, bro.
Yeah.
He is.
It's a real genius.
Like literally.
Yeah.
Like especially for you to be. I have a question, but for you, comment first. But for you to be able to put sensory and smells into your video game is crazy. Like those are the biggest successful rides at Disney World.
Yeah.
Is those that has a smell.
Yeah.
Wow. So
I was
that's
ripping
genius.
those rides too. I was like ripping them off YouTube. I was ripping all kinds of rides off YouTube modifying them to the seat. Hey, putting the little the virtual stuff on, and you feel all the wind. I got heat. You can feel heat sensories. Hey, it's crazy.
Does your stomach dip when you go down?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hit a seat.
You lose your stomach?
Yo, it's crazy. You feel full-blown turbulence, it's crazy.
And then he makes beats and rhymes. Yeah, I understand. And then he finds time.
He makes beats and rhymes.
It's insane.
You need to do something with that. Just legit. You should really try and sell that. But
I'm happy to be a spokesperson.
No, legit. My favorite ride Disney Road is Soarin' because it's the Avatar ride.
Yeah,
They do exactly that.
Yeah,
the smells, the mist. Question for you though is because you know how to design the video games, do you feel that informs your ability to make the music much better and you can create more of the soundtrack that Kalani is talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I play a lot of games too, so just being that I played from the Atari 2600 days, you know what I'm saying, all the way up, it just stayed with me. So
the joystick,
it's just natural. It's just natural.
What about the Commodore 64?
Oh yeah, all that. Got them all.
Can you fully enjoy a game that you didn't create though? Because I wonder if your type of brain, if you're always figuring out ways it could be improved or enhanced.
That's why no game is out. Because I'm always I think it's just like beats. It's I'll make a beat and I move on. And I'll make a game or I'll have an idea and I'll write it down and I'll just make it right away. I don't really wait. And then I just have a million ideas.
So do you know why we had to blow in those cartridges? What was happening while we just had to keep
Let's get down to it.
Let's get down to the real science.
This is what you need to know.
Why were we blowing in those cartridges thinking they was going to work? They did work.
They did work.
They did work for a minute.
It worked.
They gave another hour.
It was dusty, just like vinyl. Vinyl gets dusty, games get dusty. Yeah.
Yo, I love your analogies. Yeah,
They're on point.
Yeah. So when y'all approach, say this album, Heads I Win, Tails You Lose, y'all not doing this regular.
No.
Y'all not approaching music like the traditional, conventional way, right?
Why would we?
Why would you?
God forbid.
What do y'all do? Y'all going to a panoramic, theater, and he sets up his video games and
the smells,
you know what I mean?
barbecue.
He got shit hanging from the ceilings now, monitors. What do y'all do? For this album, why did y'all do it? It's been a while.
Yeah, it was a long time. I mean, it's been 8 years. We made 3 albums in the past. This was all through Decon, which turned into Mass Appeal.
Yes.
And so it's been a while, and we've just, that's my brother. We keep in touch, but I felt like I started maybe 5 or 6 years ago with the label, with my own label, and I felt like it took a minute to work out the kinks, but now I was at a spot where I was comfortable enough to hit my brother up and say, yo, I think we could run a play and do a new record. And we keep in touch. We'll do joints every now and then. Okay. But then I kind of told him, let's go in for real. And the way he works, it's not fair. He'll send me 3 or 4 joints in 1 or 2 nights.
Oh wow!
And he's so fast. You gotta think he's a video game guy, so it's always about efficiency. He makes beats like you play a video game.
What does that mean?
He'll knock shit out quick. Yes. He might send me 4 or 5 beats in a day that he just made. So it's it always kept me on my toes. And I feel like we kind of created a sound. I don't know how we landed on a sound that I feel like is like I could make a beat sometimes and be like, oh, this is a Gangrene beat. Yeah, and I don't know how to describe it, but after 3 albums, we kind of developed this sound. It's kind of aggressive. it's real more adrenaline. Like the Larry June album last year was smooth.
That was very smooth.
I love doing that.
Yeah.
This is like the opposite sonic, like musically. It's
Right.
like back to that, like, I don't know, that I just missing some of that adrenaline. Some more drums. You know, we've been keeping the drums out a lot. Bring back some drums, like, and it was like,
what's that about? Like, somebody was talking about a lot of people dropping drums now. What is that? The thing? What was that?
Just a different style to flex for a minute. I think some people were responsible. Rock Marcy for sure.
Rock Marcy
first.
Yeah.
Not really no drums, just not like adding a big extra drum. Maybe the drum is in the loop or whatever, but a minimal style of production. I love it. I just
let it breathe. You gotta let it breathe. Let the loop breathe.
And that style is for like a good MC.
You got to be a great MC.
It's butt naked. You're out there, just there's no candy to save you. So it's like just a bed of music and you. So, but yeah, I mean, the timing I felt was good, and it started happening quick, and yeah, it was like it was on.
Listening to the album, like I told you this outside. I'm a former chess player.
Wow.
Why former?
I haven't played in a long time. Last time I played King Tech's dad, who was a real great chess player. And Tech was like, yeah, you got to play my dad. I don't want to play your dad. Why not? Because when I beat people, the energy changes.
So you beat his father?
Damn, what?
Didn't want to play his dad.
So
And then you retired or what?
I just stopped playing because I was losing relationships.
He's that good.
Gotta get your priorities straight.
But here's the thing. I find that outlet, I like chess because the way it works my mind, my mental. It's the same way I listen to rap. There's artists who are not going to work my mind. I've heard a lot. I've seen a lot, done a lot, but that's okay. I'll party with them.
Right.
But then there's artists that I got to sit down and go, oh, shit, let me run that again. There's projects that like that. We had Ruben Vincent here recently.
Yeah, he's dope. He's very dope.
Come on.
Yeah, Shelter Knife. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so this project brought me so much joy. I saw her evidence. All of these, and listening to you rap, listening to y'all go, man, it just brought me so much joy because every bar is a bar. Yeah. And some folks, I remember lyrics doesn't matter was a thing. Where people were saying lyrics they don't matter.
That wasn't a thing.
Yes, that was.
I don't know.
People were saying they the best, the vibe.
I've heard people say
vibe.
that. I've heard a kid say before that he doesn't like actual words.
Yeah.
Like he actually prefers mumble because he said that it makes him feel like he's at school or doing work. He said, I like music for a vibe. So it's the words. If I have to hear words, it's making me.
Kind of like ASMR.
And then you got to wonder what type of drugs he might have been taking as well, because maybe for the certain things that works.
Yeah, like it's a lifestyle, right?
Yes.
It was more than just the music. The lifestyle went with the music as well. But I like that. I mean, look, man, we've had these arguments since the late '80s, early '90s. It's all
even back then, right?
Yeah, it was the same thing.
But I will say, at growing up, like what made us like Rakim or Kane was their rhymes more than anything.
Yeah.
Their lyrics was what attracted us to them. What they were saying, the way they were saying it. So it was like, if you're an MC, that was everything.
Facts.
Like even more than the hook or anything. It was like most rappers are like, let me get my verse off.
Yeah.
That's all. Like, sometimes even hook writing was like a chore to certain MCs because it was like, if I get my verse off and it's right, I'm good. I did what I had to do. You know, it was like, so.
You got a Chill Rob G first verse and Court is now in session. Is a verse that that's one of those things you memorize. Never feeling significant. I can't make a difference. You need an example? Use this as for instance.
Jersey City.
Come on.
His
you know
flow
what I mean?
and voice was so unique.
Give me a verse that stuck to you.
As a kid?
Or even now. Yeah. Just in
what
general.
we were just talking about downstairs was Cool G Rap on The Realist.
Oh my gosh.
The cats were
G
peeled,
Rap.
caps get peeled. And it literally was like a flawless, chiseled rap. And it was funny because he did it on the spot. I'll never forget.
What do you mean he did it on the spot?
I had just started working with Mobb Deep at the time. I don't know him very well. And Prodigy called me and was like, come to the studio. There's that beat we want to use. I knew what beat he was because I had played it for him like a week earlier. And he didn't tell me anything else. I went over to Soundtrack Studios. It's like 9 o'clock at night. My ASR, packed a big-ass ASR, like a little briefcase. And walked in, and Cool G Rap's just sitting there.
Goodness.
So, for me,
You shitted on yourself.
Are you kidding? Like,
yeah.
That's like The Godfather, you know?
Yeah.
So I was just first like, wow. And then Pete was like, yeah, we're going to do this song, load the beat up. And I just plugged the machine up, told the engineer, plug me in. I didn't call manager. I was like, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Done. And then that's why his verse is first. He wrote that in like less than an hour.
You watched him right.
He wrote it and said, I'm ready. And he went in the booth and everybody in the room was like floored. Only other time I saw that was when the first verse of We Gonna Make It. When Jada came in.
What?
The whole room lost it when he was like, they're going to weigh the scales. You got to use a scale they weigh the whales with. Yeah. Everybody in the room was like, oh my it's already over. Because I had to leave. I was walking out the studio. I had to go to do another session. And I just heard the first 4 bars and was like,
and then you walked out.
Later. I had to go do another session.
Who was that session?
With Nori.
Oh my God!
Nori,
this
man.
is your life.
It was like I always say, like I was blessed to be in New York at like this moment when it was still like a golden time. I moved out in '95, so I still caught the tunnel.
Yeah,
I caught 40 Deuce when it was still
a theme.
42nd Street, like it
grimy.
Was, and 2 years later it turned into Disneyland. You know what I mean? But I caught the early, so I felt so blessed to have be able to work with artists like Mobb Deep, CNN, Nas, and a time when like the records they were making, the locks, they were like the shit. It was like it wasn't underground. These were big records. Yeah. So I feel lucky. You know?
Yeah, man, you're definitely very blessed, man. That's the Alchemist right there. We got to wrap this up, but
come on.
I need to have just a real hip hop conversation. Well, we're having that, but
I need to come back, man.
Come back, man. Come hang out,
I love
man.
y'all, man. It's always good to see y'all.
Yo, bro, check it. A lot of times I be having to do stuff. You come co-host. Heather and them will love it.
I would love to, man. Come on.
A lot of times I have to do stuff. Yeah, man. How you getting in a party tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, the party tomorrow. I'm good. I'm just going to walk up, right?
Of course you are.
Thank you, man.
Anywhere you go. They see that face. You crazy?
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. That's what the ladies say, too, Al.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's wrap up.
Oh, no. Okay. Real quick, man. What is your take on this back and forth battle?
Which one are we talking about?
Well, I don't know anymore.
There's so many going on.
Kendrick sparked a whole Kendrick sparked a whole new move.
Yes.
Right? We heard what we believe is Drake come back, and we heard Ricky Rose, and then this bit, and we heard, j.cole did his response, and then he took it down and he apologized. But so what is your take on all this? Is it fun for you? Is it interesting? Does it remind you of any other battle times?
I mean, it's definitely interesting. You know what I'm saying? I'm tuned in. I like to see what it is, but it's pretty crazy now. It's like they want blood. Everybody wants blood. It's like it reminds me of Gladiators.
Yeah,
like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like if I was the artist, I might feel like the way everybody's like turned over an hourglass on Kendrick. It's like if I remember back the Nas and Jay thing, I think Nas took like a couple months before Ether dropped.
Took near a year before
nobody.
Ether
dropped. It was.
Like I don't remember.
Oh shit!
I don't remember it being this like hourglass or like it's been 3 days. It's been 4 days. Imagine you're the artist. Now you got to run there and to appease an internet of people who may after you do it go it's trash or okay let's see what's next.
Right.
It's this constant gladiator like they want more. So I'm listening. I'm watching. I'm tuned in. But as long as we get some good music out of it. God bless.
Oh no, it's laughing, man.
It's funny to me.
Why?
It's just funny to me. The whole thing is funny to me. But I'm with it.
Okay.
I'm with it. Go for it. Yeah. I like that. The Rick Ross joint was crazy.
You like that one?
Yeah, that one was kind of crazy.
Okay. Yeah. So just I'm all for the battle.
Yeah,
absolutely, of course.
Yeah, man. Listen. I'm all. It's just the battle rapping. I'm for battle rapping. I'm not for the shit that happens outside of it.
Of course.
But it's nothing wrong with I don't know, Serena going against the number one, or the number one or contender going against the best player. I like that.
It's competition every day, really.
Yeah.
It's always a competitive. That's what P said. It's not rap. It's blood sport.
Damn.
Like it's always been that. So it's like, all right, if you want to name a name or if you just want to be better, it's always competition. So respectfully, I think all these guys, you wouldn't have opponent that you don't are not worthy to respect. So at least we know that's there. So
right,
see where it goes.
Alchemist, give him a round of applause. The new album is Heads I Win, Tails You Lose.
Yes, sir.
The Alchemist, Oh No, Gang Green is the group.
Yeah.
The project is magical.
Hold on, I have something for you.
You got something for me?
I have a pack of Gangrene playing cards. They're vandalized.
Oh my God!
Every card is vandalized.
Let me see. Should I open
it up?
Yeah,
and then I also have.
You know I'm a poker player, brother.
I might have one more thing for you here in my pocket.
All right.
A commemorative coin because it is heads I win, tails you lose.
Oh, that's dope.
Wow, that's dope.
And I'm so upset that I didn't bring more. I will send one for everybody.
Thank you.
I promise you. I promise.
That's dope.
My bad.
Yeah.
Just some cool stuff we're doing for around the album.
That's dope.
Appreciate it, man. I'm gonna keep this in my pocket at all times. So it's gonna be a good luck charm right here. And I'm gonna get to these cards right here. Yeah, Cornbread had a coin too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he did have a. That's right. Shout out to Cornbread, man.
Cornbread.
Natural selection.
That's right.